What if the trainers that you fought at the very beginning of every Pokemon game were instead inspired by their losses and decided that they were going to be the ones to become the Pokemon champion instead of you? Well, look no further for your answer, as we're going to cover exactly that in today's video. So stay tuned as we look at what their teams would look like if those trainers decided to become champion instead of you. While watching MandJTV, side note, you all should subscribe to him. He makes great content. He's a huge inspiration for me on this Pokemon YouTube channel. Even though he's never going to see my content, I'm still going to plug him here, so you should subscribe to him. Anywho, while watching his video, If Every Pokemon Professor Became Champion, which you guys should check out, I had the thought, what if we took it a step further? What if all those trainers at the beginning of the game, those Route 1 trainers that we all treat as grinding fodder for our starter Pokemon, what if they were instead inspired by the losses we were dishing out and they decided to become champion? So I had to answer the question. A couple of ground rules for you guys. One, no legendaries. Doesn't make for a fun video for you. Doesn't make for a fun video for me. So we're just going to avoid it. Two, you have to use Pokemon that originated in the prospective regions of the trainers that we're choosing. There's going to be a couple exceptions to this that you'll see throughout this video, such as if they have an iconic Pokemon that we can't ignore, or if they have a Pokemon on their team that had a Prevolution or an Evolution introduced in this generation. I'll explain why I picked those when I get there. And third, no duplicates. No one wants a team of 6 Tyrantars. That's a boring champion team. So without any further ado, let's kick it off with Kanto. In the Kanto region, excluding rival battles, the first real battles you have in that game come in Viridian Forest, which, as we all know, is just completely full of bug catchers. But a mono bug team doesn't make for a very exciting champion team, so I am looking into Pokemon Yellow, and I'm picking the one trainer in Pokemon Yellow that's not a bug catcher in Viridian Forest, Lass. Now, back in Generation 1, these trainer types didn't have names associated with them, but you can go ahead and name the Lass whatever you want to make yourself happy. But for my sake, I am just going to refer to her as Lass. In that game, Lass has 2 Nidorans, a Nidoran female and a Nidoran male. But due to our duplicates clause, I'm going to avoid having both on the team, and we are just going to stick with the Nidoran female, making Nidoqueen her first Pokemon. After that, I believe she would try and pick up another Pokemon to round out her team a little bit, and what early game Pokemon is better than Pidgey? Adding Pidgeot to her champion team. My next choice is going to be a controversial one, and it's going to continue to be controversial throughout this entire video, as you'll see it's common on many of the teams that we will be doing. But let me explain. After she loses to a trainer with a powerful starter Pokemon that got it from Professor Oak, and then sees another powerful trainer that got that Pokemon from Professor Oak, most likely she's going to go the half a mile to the next town and go talk to Professor Oak and get herself the 3rd starter Pokemon. In this case, I'm going to pick Venusaur, as many people pick Charizard and then Blastoise as the other chosen Pokemon, so we will say that she will get Venusaur in this game for her 3rd Mon. The 4th Pokemon, I believe, would be one iconic to the region, and what more iconic Kanto Pokemon is there than our lovely Eevee? I think after obtaining Eevee, she'd take a look at her team and realize what type coverage she needs and make it a Vaporeon. I think that would add a lot of depth to her team. Having a water type would be a strong type to have in the Kanto region for all the surfing, and I think that it makes a solid partner. The 5th Pokemon I believe that she would add to her team is found in the Fighting Dojo. I believe to prep for Sabrina's gym, she would go to the Fighting Dojo as we all did, take that challenge, and select one of the end Pokemon. For the purpose of this video, I am going to pick Hitmonchan, making her 5th Pokemon the powerful fighting type from Kanto. The final member of her team is going to be yet another controversial pick, but let me explain myself once more. In over 60% of the champion teams, a pseudo-legendary is featured throughout all the games. I feel it's a staple of champion teams to have a pseudo on the team. And as you guessed it, that makes her 6th and final member, Dragonite, making her team Nidoqueen, Pidgeot, Venusaur, Vaporeon, Hitmonchan, and Dragonite. A team that anyone would fear going up against in Kanto. As we move to the Johto region, we go into Route 30, where we approach one of the most notable NPCs of any Pokemon game. The trainer chosen for this video is the man, the myth, the legend, Youngster Joey. And I'm sure you can guess the Pokemon that we will be putting at the start of his team, Raticate. I find it hard to believe that Joey would ever part with his Rattata, with it being such top percentage. So I believe that Raticate would see him through to the end and become a staple of his champion team. Much like in the Kanto region, I believe that Joey would see two powerful trainers with two powerful starter Pokemon and go back to Professor Elm and ask for that third starter Pokemon. If it's just gonna sit there, someone might as well use it. For the purpose of this video, I am saying the third starter Pokemon. However, I believe we all know what that third Pokemon would be left on the table in the Johto region. Chikorita. That would make the second member of his champion party, Meganium. Because I like to live on the wild side, we're already going to go ahead and break the second rule that I laid out in the beginning. The reason that I'm doing this is because this type of Pokemon is so prevalent in Johto, I feel it's a disservice to ignore it. I am going to be giving Joey a baby Pokemon. Now, for your sake, you can replace this baby Pokemon with whatever baby Pokemon you find cutest. However, I am going to be giving youngster Joey an Elekid, making the third member of his team Electabuzz. I think we can all agree that youngster Joey seems like a pretty friendly guy, and because of that, I think when traveling through Dark Cave in the Johto region, youngster Joey would come across a Zubat and catch it and add it to the team and show it all the love and affection and friendship that it deserves, making the fourth member of his team Crobat. And who can go through the Johto region without headbutting some trees? For that reason, I think that the fifth member of his team that he would encounter would be the ever-powerful Heracross. I think that Joey would go around headbutting trees trying to add strong Pokemon to his team and come across a Heracross and fall in love with it immediately, as we all have, making a great fifth member to this champion team. And lastly, you guessed it, I once again have decided to give this trainer a pseudo-legendary Pokemon, therefore making the sixth member of Joey's team, Tyranitar. This would make youngster Joey's final team Raticate, Meganium, Electabuzz, Crobat, Heracross, and Tyranitar. I think this is a top percentage team that any Johto trainer would have trouble beating to become champion. Please remember, if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. This is the thought experiment. Many people will have different opinions than what I will have, but this is just the teams that I came up with. If you came up with something different, I would love to hear what you came up with down in the comments so I can see how other people took this fun idea and ran with it. Next up, we have the Hoenn region. In the Hoenn region, the first route that you battle other trainers is Route 102. It's where Wally catches his Ralton. It's a pretty iconic route for many of us that went through the Hoenn region. Technically, the first trainer that you battle on this route is actually youngster Calvin, but his team's kind of boring, and therefore I decided to go with someone that had two Pokemon on their team, someone a little bit further down the route who seems a little bit more of a go-getter and would be more likely to become champion. Youngster Allen. Youngster Allen on his team currently would have Tailo and Poochyena. However, those are two great Pokemon to add to your team if you're going through the Hoenn region. Therefore, I think the first two members of his team would be Swellow and Mightyena respectively. Much like in the last two regions, I think that this trainer would go back to the professor and ask for that third Pokemon. This third Pokemon can be whoever you want it to be in your mental story. However, for my case, I'm going to give youngster Allen Swampert, making Swampert the third member of his team. I also think he would be traveling through Granite Cave as much of us did in Dewford Town before we fought Brawly, and he would come across an Aeron and see how strong and powerful that Pokemon is and catch it and add it to his team, making the fourth member Aggron. I feel like after youngster Allen got his goggles, he would decide to trek the sandstorm that is Route 111, just like we did. He would see the Pokemon Trapinch, know what powerful Pokemon it was going to become, and add it to his team, making his next team member the fan favorite, Flygon. As for youngster Allen's final team member, there are actually two pseudo-legendary Pokemon to pick from in the Hoenn region. However, the current champion of the Hoenn region already uses one of these powerhouses, so for now we're going to toss Metagross aside and choose Salamence, for the final member of youngster Allen's team. This would make his team Swellow, Mightyena, Swampert, Flygon, Aggron, and Salamence. A tough team to beat even after beating Drake and the rest of the Elite Four. We now head off to the 4th region, Sinnoh, where the earliest trainers you can battle are found in Route 22. While youngster Tristan's technically the first youngster that you battle against in this region, his team's kind of boring unless you just want Bidoof to be the champion team, which is completely understandable to be honest. However, we are actually going to go with Logan, who is a trainer that comes up right after Tristan. However, he has a Shinx on his team, and it's pretty hard to say that Luxray isn't cooler than Bidoof. No offense to all you Bidoof stands out there. Therefore, the first member of his team is Luxray. Next, I feel like he would add another early route Pokemon to his roster, and one that becomes a powerhouse. That would be the powerful bird, Staraptor. Next, I feel like he would run his way back to Twin Leaf Town and beg the professor for that third Pokemon, which again can be any Pokemon that you choose. However, in this case, we are going to go with Empoleon. For the 4th member, I feel that throughout his journey, youngster Logan would probably travel into the underground as many of us did. While digging around down there with friends or just searching for treasures, he would come across a fossil, making the 4th member of his team Rampardos. Going down Route 206, I believe that youngster Logan would run into a Gligar, and seeing that cool flying scorpion Pokemon, he would immediately want to add it to his team, making the 5th member Gliscor. I'm sure this is going to shock you all, but the 6th member of this team is not going to be a pseudo-legendary. Giving Garchomp to any trainer that's not Cynthia almost seems like I would be committing a Pokemon sin. Therefore, I am going to choose a Pokemon that's so iconic in Sinnoh that many people thought it was a pseudo-legendary or legendary before the games were even released. The 6th member of youngster Logan's team would be Lucario. This would make youngster Logan's final team Luxray, Staraptor, Empoleon, Rampardos, Gliscor, and Lucario. A team that would give even Cynthia a run for her money. Oh, hey, sorry to interrupt your video. I just wanted you to look right below the video screen real quick. I bet there's a subscribe button down there. Chances are you probably haven't clicked it. We make lots of funny and regular Pokemon content here at this channel, and me and the other 22 members of my community so far would love it if you would join us on our weekly Pokemon adventures. So don't forget to click that subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of the video. In the Unova region, the first route that you can battle trainers that are not your rival is Route 2. There are several trainers on this route, however, for the sake of this video, I am going to be picking Lass Molly. The real reason for that is that she has a unique team, and I don't want this video to be all guy champions. I love it whenever we have some female representation, and therefore I want a female to be included where they can be. So for that reason, Lass Molly is going to be our decision. When you encounter this Lass for the first time, she has a Purloin, therefore making the first member of her team very easy, Liepard. Next up, and I'm sure you guessed it, I believe that this trainer would run back to the starting town and beg for that third starter. Once again, that third starter can be whatever your headcanon desires. However, for this video, I am going to say that that third starter is Emboar. After getting her starter and continuing on her journey, I believe that this Lass would head up to the routes and eventually hit Route 9, where she would see a powerful and sharp Pokemon named Pawniard. Seeing how powerful this Pokemon is, I believe she would want to add it to her team immediately so she can follow her dream of being champion. This would make her third Pokemon Bisharp. Following Route 9, I believe that she would head right on up to Route 10 and see the ever-cute Rufflet. Seeing this powerful bird, I believe she would want to add it to the team immediately, making her fourth team member Braviary. While surfing down Route 17 after defeating the Nimbasa gym, I believe that the Lass would encounter a Frillish and fall in love with that cute ghost Pokemon and have to add it to the team, making her fifth team member Jellicent. In this one unique case, I believe that she would probably only have 5 Pokemon up until Victory Road. I believe last Molly probably heard that there were very powerful Pokemon on Victory Road in the Unova region, and knew that she could go there to find her 6th and final member. On arriving at Victory Road, I believe that she would catch a Dino, making her final team member Hydreigon. This would make this lass's team Liepard, Emboar, Bisharp, Braviary, Jellicent, and Hydreigon. To me, this seems like a team that even Getsus couldn't liberate. Next, we go to the Kalos region where you fight your first trainer on Route 2. This trainer is none other than youngster Austin. When you first encounter this trainer in the game, he only has a Zigzagoon. However, I don't think he would separate ways with his trusty partner, therefore his first teammate would be Linoon. I believe Austin would quickly head out to find Professor Sycamore to find that 3rd starter, which in my case would be Chestnut. After getting Chessman, I believe he would catch another early route Pokemon, and there is no early route Pokemon in Kalos better than Fletchling, making Talonflame his 3rd party member. Wanting to be the very best like no one ever was, I believe this youngster would head right up to Route 6 to catch one of the strongest Pokemon in this region, Hoenn, making his next team member Aegislash. In desperate need of a water type, I believe that youngster Austin would take to the fishing poles and would catch himself a Clauncher on Route 8, making his 5th team member a Clawitzer. Don't get me wrong, while Goodra is very cool and very powerful, I believe that there is a different pseudo that Austin would have his eyes on. While traveling across the sands of Route 13, I believe he would come across a Gibble, raise it into a Garchomp, and unlock the secrets of Mega Evolution. This would make his 6th team member Mega Garchomp. Megas are so engrossed in Kalosian culture that I believe that we have to put a Mega on this team, and what Mega better than the axe wielder himself, Garchomp. This would make youngster Austin's final team Linoon, Chestnut, Talonflame, Aegislash, Clawitzer, and Mega Garchomp. A team that shines so brightly it might as well power Lumiose Tower. In the Alola region, we begin on Route 1 with several trainers to choose from. However, I believe that we can leave the preschoolers out of this and go straight for the youngsters, making our option Youngster Jimmy. Picking Youngster Jimmy does have its side effects though, as we have to bend rule number 2 one final time, as his in-game Mon is Alolan Rattata, making his first team member Alolan Raticate. However, I believe this was well warranted as regional variations became a thing in the Alola region, so having a regional variant on the team just makes sense. I think the team would kick off with another early route Mon, and what early route Mon is better than Sam himself, Toucannon. As for the 3rd team member, I believe Professor Kukui with his big heart and even bigger abs would fall prey to the begging of youngster Jimmy and give him the 3rd starter, which I am deciding to be Primarina. Shortly after getting the starter from Kukui's house, youngster Jimmy would probably run over to 10 Carat Hill to test it out in battle, allowing him to catch himself a Rockruff. For the sake of this video, I am going to say that the Lycanroc becomes Midday form, making the 4th team member Midday Lycanroc. After traveling up to Route 8, I believe that Jimmy would see a Pokemon that he sees himself in, Wimpod. Feeling connected to this Pokemon, I believe he would catch it and add it to the team, making his 5th member Golisopod. As we stated earlier, pseudo-legendaries are extremely common on champion teams, making his final team member Komodo. This would make youngster Jimmy's team Alolan Raticate, Toucannon, Primarina, Midday Lycanroc, Golisopod, and Komodo, a team with enough heat that it burns like the mountains of Akala themselves. And finally, we make it to the last region of the video, the Galar region. You find your first trainers to battle on Route 2 in the Galar region, and we are going to go with youngster Benjamin. When you battle him in-game, youngster Benjamin has both a Blipbug and a Nickit, making the first 2 members of his team Orbeetle and Thievul. After seeing the power of Hoenn Hop's starter Pokemon, I believe he would go hunting for his own starter and find himself Inteleon. While on his very own Pokemon journey, I believe he would run into the daycare center on Route 5 and get his very own egg from the breeder, making his 4th team member, Toxtricity. As his journey continues, I believe he would find himself in Glimwood Tangle, where he taps on the wrong mushroom and awakens an Impidimp. Upon catching this Pokemon, I believe he would want to immediately add it to his team, making his 5th team member, Grimmsnarl. Unlike many of the other trainers in this video, I believe there's a stronger Pokemon in the Galar region than the pseudo-legendary for youngster Benjamin to catch. This all-powerful team member would come from fossils found in the wild area, making his 6th and most powerful Pokemon, Dracovish. This would make youngster Benjamin's champion team Orbeetle, Thievul, Inteleon, Toxtricity, Grimmsnarl, and the almighty Dracovish. This final team is one that is sure to crush even the unbeatable Leon himself. There you have it. Now you know what Pokemon every first route trainer would have if they were to become champion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys have any other opinions on what Pokemon these trainers would have, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I love to hear your guys' opinions. Don't forget to subscribe so I know to keep making content like this, so you guys can watch if I make more content like this, and I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to MandJTV. He really inspired me on this video. He inspires a lot of the content that I create, and he's just an all-around great guy. So thank you guys once more for joining in, and I will catch you guys next week when the adventure continues.